The story centers itself on compassion and hidden truths, two forces that often work quietly in the background of life but can come to the forefront in the most unexpected ways. Compassion is not always grand or loud. Sometimes it manifests in the smallest gestures, like offering a warm meal, a kind word, or even the simple act of noticing someone else's pain when the world seems too busy to care. The single dad in this story embodies this subtle but powerful quality, not because his life is easy or overflowing with resources, but because his struggles make him more sensitive to the struggles of others. He knows what it feels like to be overlooked, to wonder how the next bill will be paid, to see the sparkle of Christmas lights on houses he cannot afford to decorate. He is not immune to hardship, and it is precisely this vulnerability that opens his heart to the sight of the little girl scavenging through trash bins on Christmas Eve. In that instant, something beyond duty or obligation stirs within him. It is a recognition of shared humanity, a call to respond not with indifference but with care. Compassion in such a context is not simple charity. It is not about giving from abundance but about sharing even when one has little. The single dad has enough reasons to walk away. He has his own child to think of, his own burdens pressing down on him, the ever-present weight of financial strain and emotional exhaustion that comes with single parenthood. Yet when his eyes fall on the girl, cold, desperate, and searching for scraps in a pile of discarded waste, he cannot turn away. Compassion is what makes him pause, approach her, and ask the question that most people would rather avoid. Why is she here, and what does she need? That first step of reaching out opens the door to a chain of revelations that will shift everything he thought he knew about the night and about his own journey as a parent. Hidden truths are what give the story its depth and emotional impact. Life is full of moments where the surface does not reveal the whole picture. A person seen digging through trash may be judged at first glance as neglected, abandoned, or hopeless, but the truth often runs far deeper. The little girl's actions mask a reality that the single dad could never have predicted, and it is only through his compassion that this truth comes to light. Without stopping to show concern, he would have never uncovered what lay behind the child's desperate search. The hidden truth in this story is not just about the girl's circumstances but about connections that tie people together in ways that seem almost invisible until fate brings them face to face. What makes compassion so central to this theme is that it becomes the key that unlocks the hidden truth. If the man had ignored the girl, the truth would have remained buried, unseen by anyone who might care enough to respond. But because he chose to act, he learns something that challenges his understanding of himself, his family, and his past. The stunning truth is not only a revelation about the girl's life but also a mirror that reflects back onto his own. It reminds us that compassion does not only benefit the one who receives it, it also transforms the giver, opening their eyes to realities they might never have confronted otherwise. The dad's act of kindness becomes the bridge between ignorance and awareness, between living within the confines of his own hardships and seeing the larger web of human stories around him. The interplay of compassion and hidden truths also creates an emotional layering that resonates with the spirit of Christmas. The holiday is often framed as a time of joy, abundance, and togetherness, but for many it is a season that magnifies loneliness, poverty, and unmet needs. Against the backdrop of festive lights and cheerful songs, the image of a child searching through garbage is jarring, almost unbearable. Yet it is in this contrast that the story gains its emotional force. The dad, despite his own challenges, embodies the very essence of the holiday spirit not through material wealth or lavish gestures, but through empathy and presence. His compassion transforms what could have been another night of despair into the moment when hidden truths are brought into the light. The girl is no longer invisible, her suffering no longer ignored, and the revelation that follows reshapes the meaning of Christmas for both of them. This theme also speaks to a broader human truth. Often, people carry secrets, hidden pains, or unknown connections that lie just beneath the surface of everyday encounters. A stranger in need may turn out to share an unexpected bond, a chance meeting may reveal long-buried links between families, or a simple act of kindness may uncover a truth that changes everything. The single dad's compassion is not just about helping a child in distress but about daring to engage with the unknown, about choosing to care enough to see beyond appearances. The hidden truth he discovers stuns him because it reminds him that life is never as simple as it looks. Every person, no matter how small or forgotten, carries a story that can intersect with another in profound and unforeseen ways. The depth of the story comes from this intersection, where compassion meets revelation. The dad's heart leads him to act, and in doing so, he stumbles upon a truth that demands not only understanding but acceptance. It may be painful, it may shake the foundations of what he believed about his world, but it is a truth that brings with it a strange kind of healing. Compassion allowed him to see what others overlooked, and in turn, the hidden truth allowed him to see himself more clearly. What began as a moment of pity for a stranger becomes a moment of profound self-discovery, forever altering his perspective on parenthood, love, and resilience. At its core, the theme of compassion and hidden truths reminds us that the world is layered with unseen stories, waiting for someone to care enough to notice. In the quiet act of helping a child who seems lost, the single dad not only lifts her out of despair but uncovers a thread that connects their lives in ways neither could have imagined. It is this revelation, brought to light only through compassion, that leaves him stunned and changes the course of their lives from that Christmas Eve onward. The emotional twist in this story is the force that takes it from a simple tale of kindness into something unforgettable. Without it, the moment between the single dad and the little girl might have remained a fleeting act of generosity, a kind man offering help to a child in need. But the twist reshapes the narrative, exposing layers of complexity that surprise not only the characters but also the readers. What begins as pity and empathy unfolds into shock and deeper emotional resonance, as the father realizes that what he thought was an ordinary encounter carries a hidden connection or revelation that shifts everything he believed to be true. This kind of twist does not exist simply to shock. Its purpose is to deepen the meaning of the story, to force the characters and the readers to reflect on how fragile, interconnected, and unpredictable human lives truly are. The setup for such an emotional twist lies in the contrast between expectation and reality. On Christmas Eve, the father sees a little girl searching through trash. His expectation is straightforward: she must be a homeless child, hungry, abandoned, or neglected by her family. His heart aches, and his compassion drives him to approach her, offer warmth, food, or simply kindness. The audience, too, settles into this expectation, believing that the story will focus on generosity during the holiday season. Yet it is precisely this expectation that makes the twist so powerful when the truth is revealed. Instead of confirming what seems obvious, the story overturns assumptions and forces everyone to confront a deeper, more complicated reality. The girl's presence in that place, at that time, has a reason that neither the dad nor the readers could have guessed, and when the truth surfaces, it leaves an emotional mark far stronger than pity alone ever could. The emotional twist also works because it connects directly to the dad's own journey. He is not a bystander untouched by hardship. He is a single parent, already bearing the strain of raising his child alone, already familiar with sacrifice, loneliness, and the constant weight of responsibility. He is someone who knows what it feels like to be stretched thin, to wonder if he is enough, to fight the invisible battles of parenthood without the support of a partner. When he sees the girl, he sees through the eyes of someone who has lived through difficulty, but the revelation that follows forces him to see in a new way, one that pierces deeper into his own story. The emotional twist does not stand apart from his life but instead ties directly into it, pulling him into a realization that connects his struggles with hers in a way that shocks him. This connection could come in the form of a shared past, a hidden bond, or an uncomfortable truth that changes his understanding of who she is and who he is. That is what makes it stunning. It is not random, but deeply personal. The power of an emotional twist lies in its ability to reframe everything that came before. When the father first sees the girl, his feelings are shaped by sympathy, sorrow, and perhaps a sense of responsibility. After the twist, those same feelings evolve into something more complicated: shock, disbelief, grief, and perhaps even guilt or longing. For example, if he discovers that the girl has a link to his own family, the moment transforms from a simple act of kindness into a confrontation with his past choices or the circumstances that shaped his life. If he learns that she carries a secret tied to his late partner, or that she represents a truth about his own child's future, the emotional stakes rise dramatically. The revelation forces him to grapple with feelings he had long suppressed or truths he had never dared to face. In this way, the twist does not just alter the plot but reshapes his emotional landscape entirely. What makes such a twist especially poignant in a Christmas Eve setting is the contrast between the joy and abundance typically associated with the holiday and the stark, painful truth that emerges. Christmas is a time when families gather, where the narrative of togetherness, love, and miracles dominates. The father himself may have been yearning for a sense of completeness, struggling with the absence of a partner, and trying to give his child a Christmas that feels whole despite their circumstances. Against this backdrop, the appearance of the girl, and the truth she carries, serves as both a disruption and a revelation. It disrupts the cozy, hopeful vision of the holiday but also reveals something real and raw, a truth that is difficult to bear yet impossible to ignore. The emotional twist magnifies the contrast between illusion and reality, forcing the characters to confront life as it truly is, not just as they wish it to be. The audience's reaction mirrors the father's. At first, they are guided into compassion, seeing the girl as a symbol of need and the father as a figure of kindness. But the twist catches them off guard, pulling them into the same stunned silence that the father experiences. It lingers in their minds not because it is shocking for its own sake but because it resonates on a deeper human level. The truth, once revealed, speaks to universal fears and desires: fear of loss, longing for connection, the pain of secrets, the fragility of relationships. It is the kind of truth that leaves people reflecting on their own lives, wondering what hidden stories lie beneath the surface of the strangers they pass every day, or even within their own families. That resonance is the mark of a powerful emotional twist. It does not just surprise, it echoes. The father's stunned reaction embodies the weight of this truth. He is a man already stretched thin, already carrying the burdens of parenthood, yet the revelation forces him to carry something even heavier: knowledge that cannot be undone, emotions that cannot be unfelt. The truth changes how he sees the girl, how he sees himself, and how he sees his role in the world. In that instant, compassion turns into responsibility, pity turns into connection, and kindness turns into something larger and more life-altering. The emotional twist redefines the moment from an act of generosity to a pivotal turning point in his life. His stunned silence is not just shock but the dawning awareness that nothing will ever be the same. The emotional twist is necessary because it ensures the story is not just another holiday tale about kindness but one that delves into the complexities of human lives. It underscores the reality that even in moments of goodwill, life has the power to confront us with truths we are unprepared for. Yet it is precisely in those moments that growth and transformation occur. The single dad, in being stunned by the revelation, steps into a new chapter of his life, one shaped not only by compassion but also by truth, no matter how difficult it may be. The little girl, too, is no longer simply a figure of need but a bearer of a story that binds them together in ways neither could have predicted. It is this intertwining of kindness and shocking revelation that elevates the story into something far more memorable and emotionally impactful.